Welcome back to No Cap Recaps. I am your host, Denzel, and today we will be recapping Magazine Dream. Before we jump into this, make sure that you hit the like, subscribe, and comment on this video. And yeah, I've been gone for a couple months. I had a lot of stuff to do. So I got a job, and I like my job. And that's what helps me with this hobby. So I'm gonna take care of my job, and then I'm gonna come back and do this until y'all, if y'all try to help me pay some of the bills now, you know what I'm saying? Jonathan Majors has finally graced us once again on the big screen with this 2023 selection Sundance Film Festival, Magazine Dreams, where he plays an amateur bodybuilder who is socially inept, can't really make friends. He has a life of trauma, a life of hardship and loneliness. So we meet Killian Maddox, and he is full-blown obsessed with bodybuilding. His only ambition is to get his IFBB. That is the card that says you are a pro. You're a pro in bodybuilding. So that will give him the name. He believes this is the name, the recognition. It's going to get him onto the magazines and finally be a household name. Everyone is going to know Killian Maddox. But this obsession has a very dark side, which we are all aware of, which we've all seen in the bodybuilding community. People do take all kinds of forms of drugs and virtually abuse their body to perfect it aesthetically. Killian is doing that. He's taking steroids, anabolic steroids. He's taking other drugs as well, and he is pushing his body to the max. Obviously, that comes with psychological consequences, which manifest into physical encounters that aren't positive, to say the least. Once again, this guy is already an individual that is alone, that is isolated, and is solely focused on a goal that is destroying his body. As this movie opens up, I want you to notice something. He's in one of his bodybuilding competitions, and he starts in the middle of the pack. So there's 6 individuals standing there. These are actual bodybuilders, right? If you don't know, these are legit bodybuilders that he's standing around. And truth be told, Jonathan physically is not holding his own, but does he look massive for what he had to get to? Yes. But when he placed him right beside those real bodybuilders, it's a telltale sign, especially in the legs. Has he worked on his legs? Yes, he has done a good job. That alone makes for a good movie, because if you know somewhat know about bodybuilding, you knew that Killian was not going to make it in bodybuilding to the degree that he wanted to, right? Because he had so much that he had to catch up with, but his body was already giving out on. He started having heart issues, liver issues, tumors on his liver. Like, it's all kinds of stuff that he was already dealing with, that the doctors are telling him, you need to stop doing what you're doing. And he's just so obsessed with the very next competition. That's all he was concerned about. Getting back to the competition, he's standing there in the middle, and they slowly start to move him outward, right? So there's 6 people lined up, and he's in the 2 in the middle. That means that typically if you're in the middle, you are the cream of the crop, or that's where you're being ranked. Like 1 and 2 is in the middle, because you're trying to be compared. The judges are trying to compare you. And so if you start to move out, that means that on the outside of those middle 2, most likely are looking better than you. And so they move you out, and then they move the real number 1s and number 2s in. And so obviously Killian moves all the way out. This further progresses. I mean, he gets in 6th, but this is just setting the tone that he could never fully grasp his obsession, which continues the spiraling effect of him trying to gain notoriety, gain someone's attention. You can see it in his social inabilities. I mean, he tried talking to women. It didn't work out. He went to other situations. They didn't work out. Jonathan Majors truly embodied a lot of men, especially in this day and age, who are looking to be validated, who are struggling in the social realm, in the social aspect. Now, some people would probably say that they probably didn't like the movie. It was a little bit slow, it was a bit boring, but I would say if some of this was a part of your life, I don't think that this would be as boring as it may seem. And I think it would be more so of a wake-up call to what you could fall into. I think Magazine Dreams does a great job of illustrating the fragility of a man's ego. And when he is pressed to a point or knocked off of his horse, or things are seeming to be taken away from him that he believed that was attainable for his name and his legacy, he will divert to more negative ways to validate desires that he truly wants to accomplish. I know that may be a bit vague, but I still think that there is some accuracy there. Boy, do not come to me on the comment section about this little bit of ash that I just seen. Leave me alone. Anyway, so I feel like Jonathan Majors did a great job with Killian Maddox. I feel like this movie, the way that it's going to be illustrated, it's going to have people saying, oh, this movie sucks, or oh, this movie is pretty good. I give this movie a 7.5. This movie is not a bad movie. A 7.5 is not a bad movie, in my opinion. I can simply relate to the character Killian Maddox. You feel like you're about to achieve something. You feel like this is the very next step and something gets in the way of that. And you just see Killian go into that downward spiral. And it just keeps going and going and going. And I mean, it's sad to watch. It really is. But it does give you a space to where you can see from a male's point of view. And I know women go through this too, but this is one of the bro movies, right? You see his issues with himself and his own self-image. Then you see the responsibility that he has to bear. And you can't question it. You just got to go through it, and you got to take it, and you got to make sure that you're the one that's lifting everybody else up and keeping them together. But then you want to be vulnerable, but you can't be vulnerable. And if you are too vulnerable, then things start to crumble. And just life is always going to life. You know what I mean? It's always going to do whatever it's going to do. So next thing that's going to happen is reality hits, situations hits. Your health may start to decline. And so how do you cope? That movie shows a lot of different colors, a lot of people's way that they cope and the way that they deal with trauma in their emotions and their day-to-day situations that they may not feel as if they can ever overcome. And especially if it's their dream, it always feels unattainable. So like I said, I give that movie a 7.5. I think this is a very good start to Jonathan Majors. And so I think this was just a really good movie overall. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know, I'm gonna get back on it. I'm gonna have to drop some more no cap recaps. I'm gonna have to hit y'all with quite a few because I've been gone for a minute. So y'all make sure that y'all hit that notification bell, hit the comment section. Let me know what you think about this movie. Let me know what you think about Jonathan Majors in general. Or let me know what you think about men. Hey, just throw whatever you want to throw in there. I miss y'all. So man, I done forgot how to say my last line. That Jim, it been a minute, huh? And so that is it. I know I say y'all be easy. I don't know how to say it at the end, but I'm gonna get this right for the next one.